Here is a quick overview of my origin story. I get asked about it on my streams, and yes, I do have a 3-part video series chronicling all this, but not everyone wants to go watch an hour-long series of videos. So here it is, quick fire. I was born in May 1990. At the time of this recording, I'm 34, but I'll be 35 here soon. At a month old, my dad and bio womb were not married and separated a year after I was born, but after a month after I was born, I was diagnosed with retinoblastoma, which is fancy Latin for cancer of the retinas. It was a genetic inheritance from my father, who also had it, and they took me to the doctors to get a checkup. They found it, and they had no clue if I was gonna make it. I'm actually very fortunate to be only blind from the retinoblastoma because my doctor at the time, who was treating 3 other patients, only 2 of us survived. So retinoblastoma, they did a bunch of crazy treatments, heavy radiation therapy, cryogenics, lasers. It sounds all science fiction, but I promise you it's true. Those treatments failed. At age 1, my right eye and optic nerve had to be removed, and my left eye was like, hold my beer, and my left eye started to go nuclear. So by age 2, they had to remove my left eye and optic nerve. And they removed the optic nerves because if the cancer travels down the optic nerve into the brain, pretty much fatal at that time. So fast forward, I'm totally blind. I go to school. I go to public school. I learn Braille. I learn how to use a cane. I'm running around my family home, happy as can be, doing all this fun stuff, driving go-karts, riding bikes, going fishing with my grandpa, and all that fun stuff. That pretty average life, normal. And I'm 3rd generation blind in my family, so they had a pretty good grasp on how to raise someone who's visually impaired. And I was very fortunate that I was never told no, and they found ways to help me accommodate things so that I could try new things and all that fun stuff. At age 6, I came home from school. My entire right side of my face and forehead was bruised, and my prosthetic eye kept popping out on the right-hand side, like literally coming out of the socket and falling. I went to the doctors. They did a CAT scan, and that changed my life for the next couple of years. They found an osteosarcoma, which is a bone-eating tumor, and they told my dad I had 3 months to live because of its size and where it was at. It was tickling my brain. Hadn't penetrated into the brain yet, but was definitely moving in that direction. It had destroyed or had eaten a large percentage, I think 70% of the bone in my skull. They started me on chemotherapy. I did that for quite some time, and then they did a 12-hour operation to remove the tumor, repair all the damage. My forehead and my skull was rebuilt with plates, wires, and a fake bone type source thing. And I had 300 staples and 182 stitches. Sorry, 300 stitches and 182 staples. I remember 182 because of Blink-182, one of my favorite bands at the time. Enema of the State for the win. The surgery went well. I recovered. They put me into a medically induced coma for a week after the surgery to help me recover quicker. And then I had to get monthly. I had to get scans for some time, every 3 months, every 6 months, and then every year. Is how that played out. And by age 8 or 9, they found another osteosarcoma. And from that point forward until the age of 14, I had, I want to say 7 or 8 tumors removed. They were small, they were caught early, not that big of a deal. Until a fibrous tumor started to grow and wrap around and compress my trigeminal nerve in my face. And that started to cause trigeminal neuralgia, which is a very painful nerve condition. And they put me on a bunch of opiates, and I did opiates for the next 14 years to try to reduce the pain. Trigeminal neuralgia is often called the unaliving disease because people will remove themselves from the pain. And I have been there. I understand that. It's not a fun condition I wish on anybody. I went to, I graduated high school. I moved back up to Washington from Missouri. I went to college. I got a degree. I started a business. Pandemic hit. That was crazy. I lost my dad in 2020, March 15th of 2020, due to pancreatic cancer. That put everything on hold along with the pandemic. I flew home to take care of him, to provide hospice care. And then once he had passed, I moved back up to Washington, bringing this little guy with me, Oreo. And yeah, and since then, I've started doing things on social media. I started a second business for my social media accounts. I enjoy my life. I have a pretty good life at this point. I started stuttering in 2021 due to a thunderclap headache. And then I had a seizure in January of this year. So medical stuff runs rampant with me and my family. But yeah, that's a just quick overview of my medical history. A lot of people ask how I lost my sight, and all that fun stuff. So this is just a quick overview of that. And Oreo and I love you all. If you have questions, throw them in the comments, or come tune into a stream and ask them there. I'm pretty open about my life. And we love you. Take care. Be kind to yourselves and others. Go learn some cool shit. Make the world a better place. Take care. Peace out. We love ya.